in
so not to cut you, are you to some extent blaming the parents of this boy?
Yes, so thank you for reframing their son can have access to it and carry it to school. So rightfully so, the police must apprehend the owner of this gun, who would be the parent, and prosecute, so that we are not able to see a repeat of such an incident, and for it to be a lesson across the nation that the possession of firearms is a serious matter. And that is why the Small Arms Commission, in coordination with the Ministry of the Interior, should look again at how we sanitize the environment to make it possible that even people who legally, and I am measured in my words, even people who legally should have such a weapon, the state must have clear instructions on how they are secured, because they are licensed, and the state must be able to know those who have these guns. And the state, therefore, should be able to know how they keep those guns and store it at home, so that we do not have a situation in which our school environment becomes, rather from being an environment of learning and formation at a young age, becomes an environment of fear, both for teachers and for school children who do not know what children are bringing to school.
So you've given your submission on what we should do in our various homes, but what about the school? Are there any possible risk security assessment that we should put in place, measures that school authorities can put in place to make sure these things do not happen again? So
you want to look at the school environment to be where the headmasters and the teachers are responsible. Mm-hmm. The challenge is, how are the teachers, except that every day for these students who come onto the school premise, they search all their bags, they won't be able to know what students are carrying. And to that extent, yes, the teachers should be able to have a certain intelligence about what is happening on their campuses by observing their students and trying to see what possibly some students could be carrying. But this duty is far less in terms of its prospects of making the desired impact. And the impact, therefore, of the school environment being free in the first place of such a weapon would be from home, and beginning from those parents who have bought these weapons but are not responsible in how they store and secure those weapons.
Right. Thank you so much for making time to speak with us. That was Emmanuel. What we should do subsequently to avoid such shootings in our schools. Let's move on to the Central Region, because the Central Regional Police Command has assured of thorough investigation surrounding the death of 19-year-old Nana Zenabu, who was allegedly gang raped to death. The teenager was found dead in her bedroom with 3 used condoms at Trifopariso in the Central Region. Neighbors suspect that the teenager, a seamstress apprentice who was gang raped in her room till she died. The incident has caused fear and panic among residents of the area, particularly as Nana Zenabu was expected to graduate from her sewing apprenticeship this year. Her body remains at the morgue for further examination. We are trying to get onto Zoom and speak to our Central Regional correspondent, but we'll bring you up to speed on that particular update in our subsequent bulletin. To a rather sad note, 2 siblings, Rose Abena Santoa, a 17-year-old first-year student of Kufoidua Technical University, and her 10-year-old sister, Nyameche Ya Santoa, who tragically lost their lives in a domestic gas fire, have been laid to rest. The bodies of the sisters were prepared at the premises of Eastern Regional Hospital mortuary, where family members, friends, and schoolmates gathered to pay their final respect before the burial. There's more.
It was a heart-wrenching scene at the Eastern Regional Hospital mortuary in Koforidua as family, friends, and classmates gathered to bid farewell to two sisters, 17-year-old Rose Abena Asantua Twasbani, a first-year student of Koforidua Technical University, and her 10-year-old sister, Nyameche Ya Asantua Twasbani. The two tragically lost their lives after a domestic gas explosion on 14th March in Awara town, a suburb of Koforidua. The girls had noticed a gas leak coming from a neighbor's kitchen and in a bid to help accompany her inside. But in a twist of fate, the neighbor identified that Mrs. Rita Ametepe accidentally turned the gas knob while trying to shut it off, ignited the gas, causing a powerful explosion. All three were rushed to the Eastern Regional Hospital with severe burns. Despite initial signs of recovery, the condition of Rose and Nyameche worsened and they passed away days apart. Mrs. Rita Ametepe also passed on later.
Jesus was telling us he has the best for us. He has plans for us, plans to succeed, to overcome, not to harm us. And that was the last morning devotion that we had. And he says, Jesus, he knows the best for us. And so that ended it. And that fate, that incident happened on Friday. There's nothing that I can say. Just to give thanks to God. Whatever happens, it's all in it's in the hands of the Lord.
Reporting for GHOne TV, Kujansa, Koforidua.
Well, the National Health Insurance beneficiaries will be paying more for medical bills as the Private Health Facilities Association has suspended insurance services on the scheme due to non-payment of outstanding claims. The association, in a statement, revealed that the NHIA owes service providers claims dating back in 2024, despite repeated assurances and engagements. The group noted that the delay has caused severe financial strain on its members, making it difficult for them to continue providing quality care to NHIS beneficiaries. The association also expressed disappointment with the NHIS failure to follow through on a recent promise to settle claims by the end of March, as captured on March 25, 2025, per statement from the authority. According to the association, suppliers and creditors were given assurances based on that promise, which unfortunately did not materialize. So on that story, we were trying to get to the PRO for the association to understand what exactly their grievances are. But let's go back to our earlier story where the Ashanti Regional Police Command has launched an investigation into the shooting incident at the Adventist Senior High School in Kumasi that occurred on Friday, April 4. We have on the phone line Peter Anti, who is Executive Director of IFES, and he believes that this goes beyond the stretch of supervision. Peter, many thanks for joining us on the bulletin. We want to understand, why do you think this goes beyond supervision? Because the said student left home, brought a gun into the school without any proper search, authorities didn't know he had a gun until the incident happened, and this is a concern because it is out. What about the situations that we don't hear about? So why do you think this goes beyond supervision?
Yeah, thank you very much, and good evening to your viewers and listeners. I think that these incidences that have been happening in our schools should be taken as what they are. That is, these are criminal incidences that are being perpetrated by students who are not supposed to do this, undertake these activities. I say that it's beyond supervision because carrying unlicensed gun is not. Carrying an unlicensed gun is a crime under our laws, and therefore you should not treat it just as a mere supervision issue by the Ghana Education Service. This is a criminal issue that have happened in the school, and I'm glad that the school has reported the incident to the police, and the police are taking over this. I say this because we need to distinguish between normal and discipline activities on campuses that are supposed to be undertaken by teachers and criminal activities like this that are supposed to be quickly left in the hands of the authorities for them to take charge and do what they are supposed to do. So we should not treat this as a mere supervision issue. Of course, students go to school, their trunks and their items are supposed to be searched intermittently by the housemaster. But what if the person was hiding it somewhere? This was in the school bag and he took it during their recess. So you cannot lay the blame at the doorsteps of the school authorities. What you can do is that this is an example of the extent to which indiscipline and violence have taken charge in educational institutions, and as such we should, as a matter of urgency, take quick steps to try and address these things by labeling criminal activities as criminal and then normal students in discipline activities as in discipline activities. I think when we do this classification, we will not put this at the doorsteps of the Ghana Education Service.
So you want us to classify this as a criminal incident? I mean, when I spoke to you earlier,
if I'm driving in town and I'm stopped by the police and the police search me and they find out I have a gun that is unlicensed, I hope you know what will happen to me, right? It's the same thing that
this happened on a school premises. Don't you think the authorities also have some sense of responsibility?
Yes, that is the reason why I'm saying that we have not been able to deal with our discipline in the school, because we always want to use the happenings under the school supervision as the reason, as a cover up, so that criminal activities are not dealt with. There were instances when students were hurt, their heads were banged against the metal bed, and we treated that as a school incident. Nothing criminal was happened, but that is an assault. So I'm saying that going forward, if we really want to deal with these challenges that are happening on our campuses, not only relying on the current case that we are dealing with, we should start labeling these incidents as criminal activities and leave it in the hands of the law enforcement agencies, so that students will know that when they undertake these activities that are criminal, they will not be shaded by the fact that it's happening in the school. No, but they will be treated like ordinary citizens that will also, ordinary citizens that will get the same punishment as will be meted out to the students. I think that is the classification, and that is the clarification that I want to bring to bear with this. We should not always say that it happens in school, so the headmaster, the housemaster, and then we treat it as GHS issue and it's gone. No, this is a criminal issue. We should let the police handle it, and it should be swift so that students will know that when they also engage in these activities, they will be dealt with according to the law and not because they are just students.
Right, I agree that the police should handle this matter swiftly, but you agree with me that this issue could have been worse. What if the students had died? So do you think there should be some security risk assessment that a school should put in place to make sure that, because for instance, if this said gun was checked and seen before he was able to bring it to campus, these incidents could have been avoided?
So one of the things that we've said is that we should also start looking at how we train these security men that are supposed to man our engaged in the various senior high schools. I think all that they do is to just check people's that closed gates and open gates when people are coming in. I think it's time that the Ghana Education Service, in collaboration with the Ministry of Education and the police service, start a certain kind of training for these security guys who are supposed to be on the campuses of our senior high schools. Take them through security measures and security activities that will make them, at least, as you said, do random search with students who enters or who come to campus. And then we should also carry out an overall security risk assessment across all the 800 and so senior high schools that we have in this country. And this is a holistic measure of addressing the problem that we are encountering in terms of school disciplinary issues. I think that it is time that we do a security risk assessment and flag certain schools as high risk security zones and then other schools as low risk, so that at any point in time we'll be able to come out with policies that would help deal with the security measures in the high risk schools, and then those schools that are not classified as high risk, we would also know how we would deal with them. These are measures that I'm thinking we should start implementing as early as possible before something drastic happens to us, especially those security people that man the gate and the entrance of various senior high schools and those that are supposed to be on campus. They should be retrained and taken through certain security measures to enable them do random checks among students, and then even by their training they can look at the demeanor of somebody and then invite the person for some quick chat for them to know whether that person is possessing something that will be a risk to the other students.
Okay. Thank you so much for making time to speak with us. Peter Anti is Executive Director of iFirst, and he was giving us his thoughts on that particular story. But let's go back to our earlier story on the private health facilities who are withdrawing their services with regard to NHIS card beneficiaries. Samuel Donko is the PRO for private health facilities, and he joins me on phone. Samuel, many thanks for joining us. Before I go deeper into what I really want to know, give us an understanding of the level of financial strain on your facilities due to this problem.
Thank you very much. I greet everyone in this country. Now, if you ask me this question, we work with medical staff. For the past 3-4 months, we haven't paid our salary. Now, for the past 3-4 months, our medical staff are all gone. We have no money to buy the consumables and drugs and other medical equipment to work and save lives. It has taken all of us to court because we have not paid our contributions. DRA doing the same thing. Some suppliers also taking us to court. And our staff have also taken us to court. So one CEO, we are there with about 4, 5, 6 someone surrounding you without committing any crime. Why is this so? This is so because any guy is owing us. Some of us 8, some of us 7, some of us 6 months in arrest. We haven't gotten the money. But yet, NHI was able to release a statement last 2 weeks. I don't know if people had that statement, indicating that they were paying us last 2 weeks and they were paying at that time. So, meaning that out of this time I'm speaking to you, we have been paid. So, if these suppliers come, the worker has read that story. DRA has read that story, and they've all read it. Once they come to you for money and you tell them you don't have the money, don't deliver it, and then they trigger a court action against you. Because the truth of the matter is that no money has hit any of us our account. That's the truth of the matter. That's the truth. And I can tell you truthfully that we are not happy doing this. And because of SNIT, a lot of SNIT, we are doing this. SNIT and some suppliers, they drag all of us to court, charging us a penalty, and then ECD is connecting all the lights at the court facilities. Why? Because they think NHI have paid us and we are refusing to pay. Meanwhile, we have not paid. Yes, we have not been paid. So these are the financial constraints. Today, before we did it, as from last Thursday, most facilities, medical staff have just decided not to come to work. We are all at home. Why? Because the CEO has not paid them. And this is a serious matter. So we are really suffering and we are pleading with the government to pay us. Now, maybe by next week, we shall be closing our facilities. Because if we stay in the facility without light, without the drugs, without non-drugs, without medical staff, then what are we doing there in the facility? Then we have to put up. These are the issues that we have.
Before you decided to take this decision, I'm wondering, did you reach out to the NHI? Did they explain to you the reasons why your claims have not been, the financial claims have not been fulfilled yet?
You understand there has been a change of government. There has been a new CEO and change in leadership at the NHI. We are aware. We've met the CEO, promised us give us money after the budget. So we should hold on. We did accept. We held on until the budget was read and was approved. Now, going to him, as soon as the budget was approved for him, and he brought that in statement, so we were happy that he was come to pay us. But he keeps postponing today, tomorrow, next week, today, tomorrow, next week. So we see some game play there. Those people coming to us, asking us for the money, but they come to them, they don't agree. So NHI boss is trying. He's trying, but I think we're believing that maybe government are not giving him the money to pay us. And if government are giving him money and not paying us, then we don't know the reason. We don't know the reason, and we have not been told the reason. All what we need is, we need our money to be paid so that we can also pay our suppliers, our staff, our snake, and go, and have a council. But we can't be moving from one court to another court, one court to another court all the time. It's becoming so embarrassing and so difficult to work. What is our priority? It's clean life. If you come to the facility, there's no drugs, there's no medical staff, there's no non-drugs there. What are we doing there? These are our issues.
Right. So how long do you expect the suspension to go on for?
It is indefinite until we have been paid.
So your monies are paid. Until your monies are paid, you are not right. Okay. Yes. Thank you so much. Samuel Donko is the PRO for private health facilities, and we were engaging him on related issues. But this is still News Tonight here on GHOne TV. We'll be back after this break. is still News Tonight here on GHOne TV with me, Awisi, Dede, Djangay. Two other stories. A push for an investigation into two suspicious flights that landed in Ghana in March has taken a personal turn. This comes after ranking member of Parliament's Defense and Interior Committee, Reverend John Ntimfojo, and Minister of State for Government Communications, Felix Kwachu Ofosu, exchanged strongly worded statements, each defending their stance. Jason South MP had earlier raised concerns over two aircraft suspected of transporting cocaine and cash into the country. He demanded an urgent briefing on their cargo. Take a listen.
On April 1, the minority in Parliament decried the rise in cases of drug trafficking and money laundering since the NDC assumed power on January 7, 2025. Speaking to the media, Reverend John Ntimfojo alleged that Airmed flight N823AM landed in Ghana on March 20 and remained for 5 days without any record of transporting a patient.
The intelligence we have intercepted indicates that the first one to enter the country on 12th March is the Kabok Air private jet, Antonov An-12B, that's the number. So we are providing the specific details of the flight. It landed 12th of March, and it is a private jet. It landed from an island of Spain, Gran Canaria, and we all know what happens in Gran Canaria. They are noted for money laundering, cocaine, and other illicit drugs.
Within 24 hours, President John Dramani Mahama ordered security agencies to launch a full-scale investigation. Here is an excerpt from the presidency statement. However, Reverend Ntimfojo intensified calls for accountability by pushing to summon officials from National Security, Police CID, the Narcotics Control Commission, and the National Intelligence Bureau before Parliament to provide updates on a series of high-profile cocaine busts, including a $350 million drug case. But Peter Lanchenetobu, Vice Chair of the Defense and Interior Committee, accused Ntimfojo of compromising national security by making sensitive details public.
The Defense and Interior Committee level, we don't do partisan politics. When we are getting into the room to have any other meeting that has to do with Defense and Interior Committee, we tell the members, hang your partisan frame behind the door and enter. We are talking about the security of the state. Without Ghana's security, without a solid country, no political party will exist. And without a solid democracy, Parliament will not even be in existence. So let's leave partisan politics behind and talk about the security of the state.
Meanwhile, Airmed International, operators of flight N823AM, strongly denied allegations of drug trafficking and money laundering, revealing exclusive details in the communication with EIB's senior reporter Joshua Kojo-Mensah. The government accused Reverend Ntimfojo of snubbing an invitation from the National Security to assist with investigations. Felix Kwachu Ofosu, Minister of State for Government Communications, dismissed Ntimfojo's claims as baseless.
The claims of Ntimfojo are false. He cannot prove it. That is why he is running away from the investigative bodies. He is unable to provide any shred of evidence to back his claim. I can report to you that because he knew he was peddling total falsehoods and lies, he now claims, after being invited to assist with investigations, that he was speaking on behalf of the committee that he was part of, and that the views he expressed were not his personal views. So because of that, he says he's unable to cooperate with the security agencies. I say that he was peddling falsehood because the facts as they exist vary completely from the claims that he made.
Will this political war of words between the government and the ranking member of the Defense and Interior Committee ever end? Your guess is as good as mine.
Well, in an unprecedented display of unity, the Doma West District Assembly has achieved a historic milestone with the unanimous confirmation of both the presidential nominee for District Chief Executive Samuel Stephen Awuni and the nominee for presiding member Evans Ajimain Apia-Yeboah. The dual endorsement signals a renewed spirit of cooperation and collective commitment to development in the district. Take a look.
History was made on Thursday as the Doma West District Assembly confirmed both the district chief executive nominee and the presiding nominee each received 100% of the votes cast by participating assembly members. The confirmation ceremony held at the District Assembly Hall drew the participation of district electoral officers, heads of department, political party representatives and members of the media. 14 out of 17 assembly members were present and voted unanimously in favor of the nominees. Before the vote, the Bono Regional Minister urged assembly members to rise above partisanship and demonstrate unity by fully endorsing the president's nominee.
Assembly members, na development na ebano mungina mobeboano na akonye na gentene anabe West afale mapa efra.
He emphasized that such collective commitment is key to unlocking the district's development potential.
Only assembly members na abanji se bia ebano oni omobekabo na moye na mamputu ababe West ya. Emfa so DC, Emfa so regional minister, Emfa so future position bia. So the position yema e corrupt activities ya. You do any ubemushi enti necessary say admana of community action sana ubemushi na waye no.
Awini's confirmation was met with enthusiastic applause.
The GHOne district has immense potential, and I'm committed to work with all of you to harness the opportunity we have within the district and around us. Let us set aside our differences and unite for the common good of the GHOne West.
The new DCE for Doma West expressed heartfelt gratitude for the honor done to him, pledging to champion development.
My focus will be on improving infrastructure, economic growth and job creation, education, youth empowerment, good governance and transparency, apprenticeship and entrepreneurship, improving local economy through sports, decent healthcare, proper use of their resources, and many more.
He also pledged to maintain an open door policy for all, regardless of political or ethnic background.
Positions are temporary, titles are temporary and limited. Therefore, the way you treat people will always be limited.
The Interior Minister Alhaji Muntaka Mubarak has pledged urgent reforms to improve conditions in Ghana's prison following a working visit to the Kumasi Central Prisons. Addressing the media, the minister expressed concerns at the quality and quantity of food served to inmates as well as the general management of resources within the facility.
I promise you, I will give it my very best. I will give it my best of shots. I will make improving the prison service and the prison inmates' life better than I came to meet it. But I know the pain that you go through with this inmate. And what I've seen this afternoon, I would liken it to simply killing the humanity in the inmates. We bring them here for reform, but we'll end up making them become more inhuman that they came in, and I don't think that is right. Three things come to my mind, and I promise them, and I'm telling the media, this is three things that I'm going to take to His Excellency the President. First, the issue of parole. We need to take it more serious. That those who qualify for parole, we must try to do it at least twice in a year. On Independence Day, on Republic Day, we must be able to do this parole to decongest our prison. That is one promise I made the inmates. We are going, very soon we'll have the council, the governing council will be in place. And when the governing council gets in place, I'll put a very strong recommendation for us to review who qualifies to be in a, what do you call it, what do you call it? We call it a prison camp, right? So that it enables us to decongest the main prison like the Kumasi Central Prison. This is another promise I've made the inmates. And the third, but not the last, the feeding. I didn't see the food. I could imagine how it was going to look like. And I've been confessing that none of us here feeds even the cats in his house with 1 Ghana cedi, 80 pesos. I thought it covers, you managed to do magic for it to cover 3 meals. Only this afternoon I've come to realize that even with all the management that you do, it can cover only 2 meals.
The Ashanti Regional Minister has indicated that engineers asked to access the safety of buildings affected by the Edum Blue Light fire have submitted their report. This will provide authorities and anxious traders some vital information about the fate of the entire business enclave. He made this disclosure when businessman Richard Ni Amakwe visited the scene with a donation of 500,000 cedis and 1,000 bags of cement. Here is it.
Structural integrity test, no. I'm going to report from the Aba. Yami Adama Monday, Yannick Mebesia. Yami Adama next week. I am more likely share or true for Ebeba. Yami Adam no bar, Yanin Bedis also. They are required the bus from which we are some of Dumasi. Many of penny of Namis among Cruci. In some motor to an animal. Or by our anywhere and Yama Abaso. Now I require the bus for I am actually shocked and surprised with the level of destruction I've come to see here. To be honest, I've seen images of the destruction, but seeing it in person, I'm really shocked. Clearly, a lot of work has to be done here. This will require a lot of investment to be able to restore this place to its previous state. From many of the traders and the market women here asking me to extend some level of support to them, and so that is why I've come here today to come and support in the best way that I could. And as the Honorable Minister himself said, I have come here to support you with 500,000 Ghana cedis, which is 5 billion cedis, and 1,000 bags of cement to aid the restoration of the. Thank you.
Let's do business now. Of Roads and Highways, Kwame Governs Agbaja, has criticized the poor planning and financial mismanagement in Ghana's road sector, describing it as a key factor behind the country's escalating road infrastructure debt. During an inspection of road projects in the Bono region, he expressed frustrations over the lack of proper oversight, which has led to unfinished projects and massive financial commitments without secured funding. There's more.
The government of Ghana is facing road contract commitments worth over 105 billion Ghana cedis, despite having a contracted budget of just 21 billion Ghana cedis, mainly due to poor planning and financial mismanagement in the road sector. During an inspection in the Bono region, the minister highlighted the Djangay Drobo Sampa Road project, noting that the previous NPP government awarded a contract to Rango Building Construction Company without proper documentation or financial commitment, calling it reckless.
Yes, trying to justify somebody's recklessness in terms of award of contracts, because this is not sustainable. Simple things that engineers have been trained to do, we basically take a back seat, and many contractors create their project, put simple things that engineers have been trained to do, we basically take a back seat, and many contractors create their project, put them under the armpit, bring it to you, and you approve it. It's the reason we have such a huge commitment on the road sector. Some of them without even any commencement certificate. The finance minister is not even aware that he need to find the money, because it was just between you, that is me, the ministry, and the developer, and that is going to stop.
The minister also criticized the country's slow infrastructure development compared to Ivory Coast, stating that despite heavy borrowing, many road projects remain incomplete.
We're going to have to be sustainable in the way we procure. Every road, I agree, is necessary, but we need to be able to pay for the contract we award as well. I have seen extremely terrible ones. All of them have to be worked on, and I agree. But the people flying the 100,000 kilometers demand I should go and do short-cutting 100,000 kilometers and make all of them design and built.
Brekum West NP Dixon Kwabnach praised the government's quick intervention and
Still in business, Executive Chairman of IDEC Business Process Outsourcing Center, Ambrose Yena, is urging Ghanaian businesses to tap into the power of digital technology, not to only create jobs, but also align with the government's digital transformation agenda. This, he says, will significantly contribute to the country's economic empowerment and help combat the growing issue of youth unemployment. He made this remark during the formal opening of the Business Process Outsourcing Center in Accra.
Sourcing market, now valued at over $1 trillion annually, Ghana's entry into this space represents a major opportunity to attract international business and create thousands of jobs. At the opening of the IDEC Business Processing Outsourcing Center, Executive Chairman of IDEC, Ambrose Yene, emphasized that businesses must harness the full potential of digital technologies as it aligns perfectly with government's 24-hour economic policy and ongoing digital transformation initiative to create decent jobs.
BPO's job creation and skills development. One of the most exciting aspects of this initiative is the job creation potential. The IDEC Digital BPO Center will provide hundreds of job opportunities for young graduates, IT professionals, and those seeking careers in digital services. IDEC Digital is committed to equipping Ghanaian youth with demand-driven digital skills through specialized training programs in digital customer relations, IT support, digital marketing, and ISO certification of individual professionals.
David Go, Chief Executive of the Business Outsourcing Services Association of Ghana, BOSAG, revealed that business processing outsourcing centers also rake in huge foreign exchange into the economy.
Companies from abroad come to Ghana, they set up here, and they actually get businesses abroad, and people sit in Ghana here and work. What happens is that at the end of every month, these companies then bring in forex. They bring in money from abroad to pay the workers here. There are companies that are big in this industry, and we are lucky to have some of them here, like Teleperformance, Concentrix, and many other IT companies like Amalitech, Engine, and many others that are in this sector.
Business processing outsourcing is a global multi-billion-dollar industry valued over $260 billion as at 2022. By 2030, the sector is projected to grow to about $525 billion.
Let's do sports now. In the Ghana Premier League, a third-place Kpando Heart of Lions will face league leaders Kumase Asante Kotoko tomorrow at the Kpando Stadium at 3 p.m. Coach Hayford of Lions have been speaking ahead of the game and says that although it will be difficult, his side is prepared to win.
A tough game, and so playing Kotoko is not a mean task at all. So we have been cycling the balls after losing to BBNE, and so we are prepared to face them. And we know Kotoko is a big club in terms of supporters numbers and everything, and so we know they will come in their numbers. We are prepared. We are expecting a very good game, and at the end of it all, I think the better side will carry the day. But playing home, we have the advantage.
Meanwhile, Eric Eli Hazi, PRO of Pando Heart of Lions, has argued that coach of Kumasi Asante Kotoko, Dr. Prosper Nate Ogum, cannot be compared to Bashiru Hayford. The Volta Regional FA Communications Director, who was speaking on the Arena on Star FM this morning ahead of Lions' clash with Kotoko, believes Hayford is of a higher pedigree and his record speaks for him.
It's not to say that the technical abilities of Prosper Ogun is not that high. It is very high, but if you look at pedigree, if you look at their competence, and look at what they have actually achieved for themselves, you cannot compare Prosper Ogun to Bashir Hayford. Bashir Hayford has been in this game decades. His mates are always fading out of the game, and new guys are coming in with maybe modern trend of football. But the head-to-head between the two has been an advantage of Bashir Hayford because he has had very impressive wins over Prosper Ogunmaki. And so his relation that particular meeting again, it is not one that he says you not go into it as a competent person.
Well, the Ghana Boxing Authority is remanding all licensed promoters and stakeholders of the mandatory constitutional requirements regarding the timely submission of fight contracts and fight contracts. This directive is aimed at promoting professionalism, protecting the welfare of boxers, and ensuring smooth coordination of sanctioned events across the country. Let's do GHOne now. On a lighter note, dancehall artist Shatta Wale has fired back at social media trolls attempting to create a rift between him and Black Sherif following the release of Black Sherif's album Iron Boy. Here's a Newsdesk report. International news now. National Front, Rwanda's deputy government spokesperson passed away on Thursday, April 3, in a hospital in Kigali due to a heart attack. He was 55 years old and a well-known figure in Rwandan media. Muku Ralinda has been serving as the deputy government spokesperson since December 2021, following his law studies in Belgium during the 1990s. He began working in the Rwandan prosecution office in 2002 as a spokesperson for the prosecutor's office and the national prosecutor. He also held several high-ranking positions within the public ministry until 2015. That'll be all for News Tonight here on GHOne Television. With me, Awisi, Dede, Djangay. Have a good evening.